Now there are some other facts which are considered as exceptional cases, some special cases in solid, liquid and gases. So one of the example, that sponge, what you have watched, it's one of the solid, but it can be compressed easily. Why it can be compressed? We know that solids cannot be compressed. It is only due to the presence that in sponge, in case of sponge, there are some vacant places, and in that fixed vacant places air is filled, and due to that air it can be compressed easily, and by this factor, when we compress this sponge, air can comes out, and when we leave the compression, it will come to its original state. Means its original state is this, that cannot be changed. But on compression, a state is formed that is artificial state. So that's why sponge is considered as a solid. Similarly, in the case of rubber band, ਸਪੰਜ ਬਾਰੇ ਥੋੜਾ ਜਿਹਾ ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਚ ਵੀ ਦੱਸ ਦੇਵਾਂ ਕਿ ਸਪੰਜ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹਵਾ ਦੇ ਛੋਟੇ ਛੋਟੇ ਛੇਕ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਹਵਾ ਭਰੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ। ਜਦੋਂ ਉਸ ਸਪੰਜ ਨੂੰ ਆਪਾਂ ਨੱਪਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਤਾਂ ਹਵਾ ਉਸ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਬਾਹਰ ਨਿਕਲ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ, ਤੇ ਜਦੋਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਦਬਾਅ ਉਹਦਾ ਹਟਾ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਸਪੰਜ ਆਪਣੀ ਓਰੀਜਨਲ ਸਟੇਟ 'ਚ ਆ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ, ਹਵਾ ਫੇਰ ਅੰਦਰ ਪਹੁੰਚ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ। ਤਾਂ ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਇਹ ਆਪਣੀ ਅਸਲ ਅਵਸਥਾ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਪੰਜ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਆ ਉਹ ਆ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ। ਸੋ ਦੈਟਸ ਵਾਈ we tell it as solid. Similar in the case of rubber band. So ਜਦੋਂ rubber band ਨੂੰ ਆਪਾਂ stretch ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਤਾਂ ਇਹ stretch ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ। We can stretch the rubber band, but it is called as solid. Whatever is its original state is there, according to its that original state, they are called solid, but we can easily stretch it. But when we leave the pressure, it can comes to its original state. That's why we can say a rubber band is also solid. Mean the object which on its original state it can be distinguished as a solid, liquid or gas. But if some exceptionally air is there in that or water is there in that and its shape changes, that is its temporary shape. But its original state is its matter form. So this is the case of rubber band also. And third, the shape of sugar and salt when added to a container. They take the shape of the bowl, they take the shape of the container. ਖੰਡ ਜਾਂ ਨਮਕ ਨੂੰ ਆਪਾਂ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਡੱਬੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਪਾ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਉਸੇ ਡੱਬੇ ਦੀ ਇਹ ਸ਼ੇਪ ਲੈ ਲੈਂਦਾ ਹੈ। ਜਦ ਕਿ ਆਪਾਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਇਹ ਪੜ੍ਹਿਆ ਕਿ ਜੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਤਰਲ ਨੂੰ if any liquid we add in a container and that liquid can take the shape of the container. But here we have to be known that each crystal of sugar and salt, it have a definite shape. But when we are putting so many crystals in a container, each crystal is not changing its shape. Each crystal will remain in its original state. That's why adding sugar or salt to a container, we cannot say that it's a liquid. It's only a solid. Now these examples I told you, they were about the cases of the solid. Now coming to the case of the liquid, we know what is happening in aquatic environment, that in a sea, in river, in any water sources, animal just breathe in air. Similarly plants also breathe in air. But plants, they manufacture the food there also. What process is going on there? Process is diffusion. Means the oxygen get dissolved in water, and oxygen is deficiency in the body of animals and in plant. So from water it transferred from its higher concentration to lower concentration because it is soluble in water. Oxygen is soluble in water. From there only it enters to the body of the aquatic animals like fish. Using gills they can take in oxygen. So this is the diffusion. So about the rate of diffusion, I am telling you the rate of diffusion of liquids that is higher than solids. That's why in liquid state particles they can move freely. So this is the case of the liquid state. So diffusion is very common there. If plants have to manufacture food using photosynthesis, they have to take carbon dioxide using diffusion process. They have to inhale that. So now coming to some exceptional gases cases. We know about LPG and CNG. LPG, liquefied petroleum gas, and CNG, compressed natural gas. It works better only in high compressibility state. We have to be known that in cases of gases, high compressibility mean what's happening in LPG cylinder. The gas that is so compressed that so much amount of gas is there in the cylinder. It's due to large compressibility, due to its high compressibility, high volume of gas, it can be compressed in a small cylinder and that can be transported easily. In the case of CNG also, but in case of LPG, that gas is converted into liquid state. That is converted into liquid state. So that is the major difference between this LPG and CNG. But compression is there, and that compression makes it burn. So this is the case of gaseous state. The particles of gases they also apply some sort of pressure. We know the concept of air pressure in the previous part of this chapter. So now we are going forward to next topic. So now comes the next topic, that is, can matter changes its state? So to verify this topic, we have to perform one activity. We have to take two beakers and then we have to took two stands. Then here a spirit lamp is there. One thermometer in each. First of all, in the case of this beaker, put some ice cubes here and then dip a thermometer in some of the ice crystals in that ice cubes. Note the temperature of thermometer. That will obviously be 0 degree. Initial temperature, that is 0 degrees Celsius. Then heat it simultaneously after burning a spirit lamp here. You will observe that this ice crystals, they disappear and they converted into a liquid. They now occupy a liquid state. Initially they were in a solid state, now they converted into a liquid state. And what is this? When a solid converts into a liquid, that is called melting. So that melting also starts at the same temperature. It's a horrible that the freezing temperature is also 0 degree and melting temperature, that is also 0 degree. Initial this we noticed here. So here occurred a melting, and when after you that was just the beginning of melting 0 degrees Celsius, but as you started heating it, its temperature rises and when it converted fully into a liquid, then note the temperature of the thermometer. It will rapidly increase. Now just keep this burner out of this place, and now heat liquid in another beaker, and first of all note the temperature of this thermometer when it is dipped in a liquid, but this liquid's bottom that should not be touching its bottom surface. That should be away from the little bit upper from the surface. So we have to hang it on a stand like that. Now note the beginning temperature. It will obviously be our nearby room temperature, maybe 25 degrees Celsius or 30 degrees Celsius. Now just place a burning burner here and watch it. When water vapors coming out from it, then note the temperature. It will obviously be 100 degrees Celsius because the evaporation in water, it begins to start at 100 degrees Celsius. So now the liquid is converting into gas on heating. So this process is called evaporation. So what we got from these two statements, one is melting, other is evaporation. What is melting? When the solid state of matter converts into a liquid state on heating, it is called a melting. And when a liquid state of matter converts into a gas on heating, it is called evaporation. Now there are some of the points also. What is melting point? Regarding this melting, there is one of the melting point also. What is this melting point? Melting point is a temperature at which a solid begins to transfer into a liquid state. That temperature is called its melting point. Similarly, evaporation point is there. That is 100 degrees Celsius. Now coming to the other two concepts, that is condensation and freezing. In these days, it's a hot time now. So you are using ice more time. About condensation, I am giving you one example. You have watched so many water droplets outside glass in which a cold water is there. Cold water is there, but how the water droplets, they are coming on the outer surface of that glass tumbler? That's only due to the reason that outer air is hot. When that outer surface feels they experience the cold of the inner cold water, they converted outer water vapors into a liquid droplets. And what is the process behind that conversion of water vapors into liquid? That is none other, that is condensation. About condensation, I am giving you few more examples. You have watched boiling milk in the home, and sometime you put a plate on that milk boiling container. After milk is boiled, and after a few minutes, you just took a plate and you watched at the bottom surface of plate there are few droplets of water. From where that water droplets came? The milk boiled and the water vapors comes out of it on boiling, and that water vapor on cooling converted into a liquid droplets that settle itself at the bottom of the plate. That is none other, that is also condensation. And moreover, the example of cloud formation, that is also due to condensation. That the water vaporize from its most of the water occupied area, from the sea, from the river, and that vaporized water on the upper surfaces, when it reached there, the temperature is very low, and in that low temperature that water vapors converts into water droplets, and that water droplets combine each other and they form a bigger cloud, and that is also condensation. So many examples I have given you regarding condensation. So what condensation is? Condensation is when the gaseous state of matter converted into a liquid state on cooling. So in that glass tumbler we added a cold water. That's why outside water vapors of glass tumbler converts into liquid droplets that settle on the outer surface of glass tumbler. So this is about condensation. Now coming to the fourth state, that is freezing. What is freezing? You know about freezer. So many words you listened about: freezing, freezer. Freezing means when liquid converts into a solid on cooling again. You know about freezer. You watched in refrigerator. So many times you watched that you put the container, a plastic container in freezer that has water in initial, but after 3-4 hours when you took that container, there was a ice. And how that ice formed from liquid water? That is only due to freezing. And freezing also takes place when the temperature of that liquid converts to 0 degrees Celsius. Converts to 0 degrees Celsius. So this is all about the four concepts: melting, evaporation, condensation and freezing. And there is one of the freezing point also. Freezing point is a temperature at which liquid changes into a solid, and that is 0 degrees Celsius obviously. Now another concept comes, the latent heat. Latent mean hidden. I told you about 0 degrees Celsius 2 times here. When liquid converted into a solid, that is also on 0 degree. When solid converts into a liquid, that is also 0 degree. So that is the same reading of the temperature, but there is some hidden heat, and that hidden heat, that is called latent heat. Mean amount of heat energy that is required to change 1 kilogram of solid into a liquid at atmospheric pressure at its melting point. So this is very important concept. All the four topics, they are very important: melting, evaporation, condensation, freezing, as well as melting point and freezing point, as well as latent heat is also important in this. One thing more I want to tell you, that some other degrees we use for temperature, like here we are using Celsius. One another degree is Kelvin. One another degree is Fahrenheit. So about these degrees we should also be known. We should very easily know that 0 degrees Celsius is equal to 273 Kelvin. 273 Kelvin. Similarly, we have to be known about Fahrenheit scale. We know the body temperature, that is 37 degrees Celsius when we watched on a clinical thermometer. But if we are observing in Fahrenheit scale, the same temperature is 98.4 degree Fahrenheit. Mean the same temperature on a thermometer in two different scales. So there are many scales we use to measure the temperature: Celsius, Fahrenheit and Kelvin. So from this we noticed that matter can be changed from one state to another. Now what we observed from here, simply one thing very easy, that solids on heating they converted into liquid, and liquid on heating they converted into gases. What is here happening? Heating. But if we cool the gas, it converts into a liquid, and if we cool the liquid, it converts into a solids. So it is a simple graph. Whatever we can identify from this single double arrow statement, that from solid to liquid mean that was called melting, liquid to gas that was called evaporation. So both these melting and evaporation need heat, but on cooling gas it converts into a liquid on cooling, and it was called condensation. But on cooling a liquid, it forms a solid also on cooling, and that was called freezing. And there were some sort of points what we have to know regarding melting. There is melting point, and regarding freezing there is freezing point. I have told you what was melting point and what was freezing point. It was same, 0 degree Celsius, and in between that 0 degree Celsius, that was latent heat concept. So now going to the next topic. So now one exceptional concept is there. It is not with all other substances, only with a few substances. That concept is called sublimation. So we have to perform one activity for this. Took one china dish and put it on one wire gauge, and putting that wire gauge on one stand, and heat it on a burner. But before burning, we have to do one thing. We have to cover the china dish, but before covering, put some ammonium chloride powder in that, and that with the inverted funnel, and at the top of the inverted funnel, that open point that is covered by a cotton plug. And now start heating this apparatus. What we observe? There is a solid. We observe some fumes coming out of it, and that fumes they settle themselves at the inner surface of the funnel. At the inner surface of the funnel. So when you see required amount of that vapors, they settle here. When it become little bit milky, then keep this burner out from here, and now watch the inside of the funnel. After cooling it, you observe white colored powder that settle at the interior surface of this funnel. And here it was powder. Powder cannot fly here, but powder converted into a gaseous state. Means that solid directly converted into a gaseous state on heating, and we can again take that powder and again we heat that powder, it will again convert into gas, and this process is called sublimation. And it is exceptional that only ammonium chloride can undergo this sublimation process. So during some festivals like Deepavali, you have observed flying some chandol in the air. In that chandol, a little brick of ammonium chloride is placed in the center of that chandole, and that brick, when ignited, is converted into a gas, and that gas, that hot air that filled in that chandole, that's why that chandole kept on rising, kept on flying. This is only due to the sublimation process. Similarly, so many other purposes this ammonium chloride is used, and our duty was only to understand that what the concept of sublimation is. So a change of state when a solid directly converted into a gas without converting in a liquid state. Because in earlier topic we studied that solid first converted into a liquid, then liquid converted into a gas. But here the solid is converting directly into gas without any liquid state. And this is called sublimation. Or it can be converted from gas to solid also when they cooled. On heating, solid converted into gas, and on cooling, gas again converted into a solid. This is the condition of sublimation. So now another topic, that is what is the effect of change of pressure on the state of a matter. You know about LPG gas cylinder which we are using in the kitchen. Actually, in that cylinder the pressure on the gas that is increased and temperature is lessened. And by lowering the temperature and increasing the pressure, that how much, see how the pressure did its job here. Suppose in a container there is some amount of gas is there, and if we are pressing it and reduced its volume, you can see how much gas particle they are stored in some limited volume. So similarly, so much gaseous particle they are stored in such a small container. But another thing is that by increasing the pressure and by lowering the temperature, the gas particles, lower temperature mean gas particles are getting little bit cooled, and that gas particles they converted into a liquid state. That's why it is called LPG, liquefied petroleum gas. How that gas is stored in that LPG cylinders in our home. Now come to second case. Another case is carbon dioxide gas. So carbon dioxide gas, when high pressure is developed on that gas converts into a solid. And that solid carbon dioxide, that is also called dry ice. Particles that come very close to each other on increasing the pressure. So here conclusion is that to determine the state of any kind of matter, two factors are very important. One is temperature and one is pressure. By increasing the pressure and lowering the temperature, gases can be converted into a liquid. And by only increasing the pressure on gas particle, they can also be solidified. They can be stored in a small amount of volume. That's how this solid carbon dioxide is formed. So this is all about the effect of change of pressure. So now I am telling you about some exceptional concepts of evaporation. We know that evaporation is a conversion of liquid state of matter into a gaseous state on heating. But we are unknown about the factors that affect evaporation. Mean that factors support evaporation. Like first point I am giving here, that is more the surface area, more the evaporation. You know about cloth drying. So many cloths we used to dry, and if we are putting that in hot, so by allowing its most of the surface area that facing the sunlight, that's how it get evaporate easily. Similarly, what's happening there in coastal areas near the sea, that people used to expose the maximum sea water on their land to the sunlight, so that they have to gain a lot more common salt from there, because that sea water that contain so much common salt, and when water gets evaporated, then they can take that common salt. But if they store that water in a long and small surface area container, the water cannot evaporate in a short interval like that by increasing the surface area. So if we are increasing the surface area, or if we are putting the cloths for drying up by spreading them out, the water can easily be evaporated from them. So this is the first factor, more the surface area, more the rate of evaporation. Then increasing the temperature increase evaporation. So we know that evaporation can only takes place at 100 degrees Celsius. But if we increase the temperature, the particles on increasing the temperature, they gain kinetic energy, and that more the kinetic energy, more easily the evaporation can takes place, mean the vapor state is coming. So that's the second factor, increasing the temperature increases the rate of evaporation. Now the third factor, that is anti to evaporation, that is more the humidity, less the evaporation. More humidity mean more water content is there in our surrounding. So that's the reason on humid day our clothes cannot dry easily. That's only due to more humidity. More the humidity, less the rate of evaporation. So that's why the rate of evaporation decreases here on the presence of more content of water droplets in the air, water vapors in the air. So fourth is more wind, more evaporation. It means wind support the evaporation. So cloths, they can dry easily, they can dry faster on a windy day, because the speed of wind is more, and that wind take lot more water vapors along with it to another place, keeping the area empty from water vapors. That's why water vapor can takes place easy when there is more wind. So this is all about the common factors of evaporation. Now other thing which is very special, that evaporation causes cooling. You know about your palm, that put some nail polish remover on your hand palm. So on putting here that nail polish remover or petrol nail polish remover contain acetone. So when we put acetone petrol here, we will feel that this area a very cooler area of our body. Why it become cold? Because that acetone and petrol, they absorb the heat of our body to evaporate. And when they absorb the heat of our body, heat of our palm, that area of our palm, it will lost the heat. That's why this area becomes cold. That's why we feel cold there when acetone is poured on our palm. Now another question arises here, that why cotton cloths we have to wear in the summer. We have to wear these cotton cloths because that cotton cloths, they are more absorber of water. They can absorb the water easily. So we know that in summer we have lots of sweat coming out from the pores of our body, and that sweat also contains some of the salts. So when that salty sweat that comes out of our body, the cotton we are wearing, that cotton absorb that sweat, and by evaporation that sweat that evaporate from our body, keeping our body the cooler one. But sometime you have washed our cotton cloths a little bit spots, salty spots, yellowish spots on our white shirt. And from where that spots came? That spots are none other, that is the salt of our sweat. Because sweat is evaporated but salt remain on our clothes. That's why we have to wash that cotton cloths randomly, daily, so that our clothes will become clean. So that's we know about the evaporation. And about the glass tumbler, I have told you already that if we have very cold water in the glass, on the outer surface of that glass tumbler, water droplets will form. From where that water droplets came? Actually that water droplet, that earlier were water vapors around the glass tumbler. And on cooling of that water vapors, due to cold water in the glass, that water vapor, they climb on the outer surface, they settle on the outer surface of the glass tumbler as a water droplets. So that's why we absorb that water droplets on the outer surface of a glass tumbler. So this is all about the first chapter, that is matter in our surrounding. So many questions are there which we can solve here, and I'm giving you few of the questions along with this video also. You have to solve the exercise questions also from this part, and that questions are also very important. So keep on watching and keep on subscribing this channel. It will be more beneficial for science. Thank you. Have a nice day.